So this right here is the most overpowered on accident pet inside a Grow a Garden, and this is going to be called the Dilophosaurus, if I'm even saying that right. But pretty much, thanks to a insanely wild glitch that I'm, kind of learning how to do, trying to figure out the mechanics. And if I do fully figure out how the glitch works, I'll make a follow-up video, so do make sure you stay tuned for that. But thanks to this wild glitch, right, so its ability, currently at level 21, every 12 minutes, it'll open its frills and spit out to almost 4 pets, advancing either their cooldown of their ability or granting them nearly 700 XP. Now, what breaks this glitch, or a game mechanic around this pet, and including this glitch, not only makes it go from the 14 minutes down to less than a singular minute, but on top of all of this, it starts dishing out thousands and thousands of XP, like nearly 10,000 by itself, and it can infinitely do this. Now, what we're going to be looking over in today's video is both the best ways you can incorporate this in your grinding strats and my idea for how the glitch works, because currently I'm still trying to figure it out. And I have a decent idea for how it works. And if, once again, like I said before, if I figure out how this works, I will post up a follow-up on this channel, the same channel right here, on how this full mechanic works. But once again, these are the last people who subscribed and liked on my previous video. So make sure you do subscribe and like this video to be in the next one. So starting off with the main thing. So let's talk about, pet XP. So the Dilophosaurus, I'm just going to call it the Dilly. So the Dilly by default is pretty mid on its pet XP. It is decently better than most other for its upfront, but it's not, decently the greatest. So what it usually does at base level 1 is around 20 minutes, it'll dish around, I think, 300 XP. But at, the higher you progress it, you include gear and mutations, it gets better. But obviously that's the main effect. So right now, this isn't, game breaking, but recently it up front just completely broke. So not only has this pet been, people are like, oh, this pet's so good, you need to use this in your grinding strat, it's so good, oh my gosh, it's so good. It is really good in general if you have multiple of them max level, or one of them in a bunch of mimic octopi, however you want to call it, for plural of octopus. It gets really good, then really broken. And one of the main core functions of this pet XP is this does allow you to progress your pets really fast. But obviously right now, the glitch is a complete mess and no one fully knows how to do it, because for the people I do know that have fully completed the glitch, they just did it by chance. They were just like, oh yeah, I just logged on and it happened. So I'm going to hopefully figure out how that works. And once again, I'll post a follow-up video on that. But once again, as of right now, this pet is still pretty broken and you should probably use it. So currently the way this pet is going to work is it's going to apply a stupid amount of XP. Now I did a breakdown, so let me break it down for you. Currently, the medium toy does a 1.5x increase on the pet's ability. So if it deals out 1,000 XP at a higher level, it'll then deal out 1,500 XP. And then the obviously pet XP is pretty useless. And then if you get something like the golden or rainbow, you can boost that by another 30%, making it even better. And then you combo this with either more of the pets or, you just use more mimic octopi. But once again, the Dilly is going to be super overpowered. So instead of, ticking down every 20 minutes or so, the reason why this pet is being fawned over is because of this glitch. Now, currently I am once again trying to figure out how it works. So currently I'll also, give you a little bit of a breakdown in a minute on how I'm, making a decent amount of progress on this in my current setup for hopefully creating the glitch. But because there's a bit of a setup from what I'm assuming on the first beforehand process. So for the most part, though, you want to use this pet for sure because it is really broken. I won't give you too much if wasted time. But this pet is going to be from the Primal Egg. So this is still currently buyable. It's going to be the 3% one right here, pretty rare. Get the rainbow one, you can get a rainbow one for 10%. But once again, it is still really good. So you can either buy the Primal Eggs, trade for them, or unless you already have a bunch of, eggs already in your inventory. Now for the setup of the glitch that I'm currently trying to do. So obviously I don't want to waste your time too much, but it is very complicated. So from what I currently know, there's a new pet in the game, right? In the new Zen update. It's going to be obtainable over here in the shop. So this is going to be in the shop from the Zen egg, and it's going to be this one, the Nihonzaru. So if you do search this up on Google, I believe, it's usually, you see in a lot of memes, right? It's just, they're usually chilling in hot springs. So pretty much what its ability is it's actually, this is the first one that ever does this. It's paired with the hot spring. So you're actually going to pair this with the hot spring decoration, which I find to be a really funny, cool mechanic that they have, which once again is pretty easy to buy since, the shop resets pretty frequently. and you can just spend gold or shekels to reset it and just keep doing this, which makes it kind of easy to obtain. But so what it does is when you have the hot spring decoration, so as you see, as long as the hot spring there's a hot spring in your garden, the pet bat will bathe in it and boost all pet passives by a small percentage. Obviously, the more the better. But as you see, I don't know the direct percentage, but as you see, they're sitting in the hot tub decoration. There's two right here and then two standing on each other, but there's another one. This is kind of what it looks. It's a bit in the way. I can move it out of the way real fast. So this is kind of what it looks like. So they'll come and stand in the hot spring. You can even sit in it with them, just stare at them, but they'll sit and bathe in it. So pretty much what's going to happen is when they do this, this is going to boost your pet passives by a few percentage. And so currently what the glitch, my assumption is based around this mechanic. And for the most part, one of the kids' mechanics around it. So I reached out to a person in my Discord server, which you should definitely join. We have updates on our macro. We have a Grow Garden stock notifier. It's actually for some reason faster than the real server, so you can get notified quicker. It'll notify you on the seeds, stock for eggs, gear, seeds, eggs, like cosmetics, I believe. But once again, super good. But for the first setup is you're going to get these pets, right? They're pretty common since they're the second one in the egg. And then you're going to pair them with the hot spring. Now they're going to sit in this thing, right? So the next thing you want to do is also use the pet toy. So you'll take out the toy and you'll give it to each one of them. So when you give it to each one of them, this is going to boost their passive, therefore boosting the passive of these. Because, for example, the Dilly right here, as you see, its passive has gone down on the cooldown. So therefore, further showing it. And I believe it was at 3.8 something, and now it's at 3.9. So it went up a few percentage on the pets it can boost into its ability to. But for the first setup, once you have this going, you're set. And now for what I know is you want to AFK in the server for as long as you can. So on Discord, if you link Roblox with Discord, you can see how long you're in game. I've been in for an hour and a half. And so once you're in, you want to go for a stupid long, like literally days in this game at once. And then what you're going to do is just leave and then rejoin. And for some reason, there's a chance when you rejoin, like upon rejoining, it's going to apply this wild, thing. So I have a few screenshots of it I can show you, where one person said it worked on a T-Rex for some reason, and the T-Rex's ability was cut down to seconds, like literal a few seconds, and it spread to 300 plants. So it would take a mutation off a plant and spread it to 300 different ones. And then there was another one where it also worked on that pet, and the Mimic Octopus is probably the best one for it to work on. But let me find a screenshot of it real fast just so I can prove my point. So here it is. As you see, every 15 seconds, mimics and copies the ability from another pet and performs its ability. So this person got in contact with them, and they gave me a ton. As you see, I have nearly $3 quadrillion or shekels inside of Grow Garden. Absurdly good. And W-Mans, by the way. But the reason why he's able to do this is he's farming a Bone Blossom he had. And the Mimic Octopus was going over and stealing it every 15 seconds pretty much because it was replicating the thing. Now he was also, for some reason, he had 5 Mimic Octopi, or Octopi, I would assume is plural of octopus, and he had 1 raccoon. So all 5 of them were every 15 seconds going over and stealing. So he would had 5 every 15 seconds. So roughly every 3 seconds he got a new one, and they were all worth like nearly 70 trillion. So he was making roughly 70 trillion every 3 seconds. So that's the broken part about it. And then other parts, the T-Rex, if you can get the glitch to work on the T-Rex, right, it'll apply the Tranquil mutation to all of your pets, right? But once again, this mechanic is super broken. I'm trying to fully figure out. Once again, I will make a full guide video on how this glitch entirely works, and you can step-by-step do it. But until then, once again, stay tuned. And for the most part, do make sure you try to use these pets because, once again, the Dilophosaurus, however you say it, is really good regardless of the glitch or not. And you should probably try to use it for pet XP gain. And anyways, I will, see you on the next one.